Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 2 versus 2 on Lorraine. Yes, indeed, it shall be in Lorraine region. We shall be fighting. We shall be seeing Cindy CH and YK5. Let's just call him Yak, because that's just much easier and shall teach him a lesson in getting a proper name. So Yak and Cindy fighting for the Americans, taking on the role of the 24th Infantry Division. Opposing them shall be PEclass and Vlad. Yes, indeed, Vlad is back with playing as the Wehrmacht, PEclass as the Panzer Elite, with a 2 Schwimmwagen start, and combined they shall make the 106th Panzerbrigade. Yes, indeed. Points are being secured there. Pioneers are sneaking up there. Whatever shall he be planning, though? He's got 3 pioneers, but no Wehrmacht quarters. And he's rushing into the cafe, and I'm pretty sure it's not to get a cafe latte. Could it be he's actually going for a forward barrack start as the Wehrmacht? This is quite interesting, so not something you actually see much in 2 versus 2s. Schwimmwagens, though, heading northwards to hook up with some pioneers. 3 Schwimmwagens, I think, is a bit too much. I believe this would be the stage where some panzer guns might be on the way, and Yak going for a weapons report in the start with the heavy machine gun, meaning for he'll be having more the support role, whereas Cindy is going for some riflemen. Some engineers sneaking in towards the center, point here north being secured. Wehrmacht forward barracks, in fact, our pioneers wiring down the area right here to prevent this forward barracks from at least immediately being streamed, and of course they taking back the cafe and its tasty pastries. Again, Schwim has moved down here again, and not really the best start. He is going for Lucas Dick Company, but still, I think he should have gone for some earlier Panzer Grenadiers. He's trying to lay down something here.
Enemy unit down.
Fails, of course, since he was landing down right in front of a heavy machine gun. Not entirely sure what went through his head right in that department. Pioneers here coming under heavy fire, forced away. The first Volkswagen squad down, laying down some sandbags here to protect this area, and of course offer a nice position to fire from in protection of this victory point. Interesting. Not a bad idea as such, though. And I suspect we might actually be hearing booby traps going off, and no incendiary traps. Incendiary traps, in fact, meaning already within the first few minutes he's already gone scorched earth, which is certainly an interesting move. But again, he's lacking in infantry. He's only got 1 squad of Panzergunners, although now he's linking up with the Volksgrenadiers of Vlad. Engineer squad could be going down. No, looks like that is one very lucky engineer. Rifleman taking up position right next to the postal office. Pioneers, Volksgrenadiers, Panzergrenadiers could move in to sort them out. Additional Volksgrenadier squad. And we are in fact seeing also increased squads as is up for PEclass infantry, but of course down here the effort is largely and quickly wasted due to defend. He didn't have anything to actually defend it with. No Panzer Gunners, just a few Schwimmwagens, not really achieving much. So again, that is vital to remember. Rifleman here suffering a bit. No support units, although we are now seeing a heavy machine gun from Yak moving in, setting up here behind some ruined stuff. Although the Panzergunners might be able to flank slightly, but the rifleman moving in. Yak needs to retreat his Panzer Grenadier. No, not Yak, but PEclass. Panzergunners snipe, and of course we are seeing a sniper out. No huge surprise there. Fight here went sour for the riflemen as they were pushed away. More Volksgrenadiers from Vlad moving in. And no medic bunker, though that would be nice. Incendiary trap stopping the riflemen from taking the point at least immediately. Full Panzer Grenadier squad on the field. Schwimmwagens trying to push them away, I think. 30 caliber opening up on the Volksgrenadiers. Others taking up position in the postal office. Trying to creep up behind the postal office, but not quite succeeding in the air force retreat. And we are seeing Wire going down for Vlad, trying to protect the rear side. And what is going on? More incendiary traps right in front of the building, actually threatening Vlad's rifleman. Why did he lay down an incendiary trap right there is a bit curious. And, oh, he could actually have trapped these riflemen right there had they actually been able to sort of wire off this area completely. And that's quite interesting. These Volksgrenadiers, though, not doing well. Again, the incendiary trap not doing well, but I mean, had that succeeded, that would have been hilarious. Volksgrenadiers up close. Sniper could in fact end up getting focused on, and he does. Very, very reckless and not necessarily good play by Yak right there. Let's go look at Cindy. And we're also seeing a mortar, I think, somewhere right there, in fact. Points being secured. Schwimmwagen getting repaired. Lots of Volkswagens back at base. Barracks, bunker up. That's probably going to be a medic bunker, which would definitely be a good idea. But the Americans already moving on swiftly again. Not necessarily the best approach right there. In fact, leaving the Panzer Elite base rather exposed to any American efforts with mortars or snipers. I mean, you have to be rather careful about your starts, and again, the one PEclass went for was a bit too heavy on the Schwimmwagens, and already 2 of them are gone. And again, this sort of overall achievement has been rather minimal. We are seeing an attempt right here to machine gun replacement to try and protect this area, although again, one nice little flank up here could easily see this done off with. 30 caliber running up with the Panzerbrigade. Will there be an attempt at flanking about? Come on, PEclass, move in. Assault. Your Panzergrenadiers, not chaps meant for taking points. That's the job of the Schwimmwagens, which have been lost because, again, you weren't there in time. Sniper. Oh! And dead. He should definitely have been to a triage center. That was a waste of a good sniper right there by Yak. Pioneers moving about there. Some Volkswagens also taking points. And again, also note how many engineers in the squad actually affects the place. Time it actually takes to build something, and one engineer is going to be very, very slow. We are seeing a nice push though by Cindy. 3 rifle squads though only, with a grenade and sticky bombs on the way. Rather heavy infantry. I think, you know, he shouldn't be going, or she, whatever, shouldn't be going for full upgrades. You know, BARs is initially just enough. Go up for some heavier, perhaps some additional rifle instead of such a lower force. Volkswagens here though not doing too well. Quickly run off. Vlad will have to sort of react to this with a larger, more solid force. The most of his forces are away. Mines being spotted. Panzerbrigade getting suppressed. Does he have incendiary grenades to clear out the building? And why isn't he dealing with the mine? The mine, PEclass, the mine, you dummkopf. But again, the rather vast American force running about up in the north. Volkswagens caught and run off. And just going for the points instead of dealing with the heavy machine guns, which of course can now move in to deal with the Panzergrenadiers. Again, not entirely sure what's going on in PEclass's head. Seems a bit dubious as to his own actions. The machine gun moving in again, trying to sort of move closer to an actual pinning effect on the base of the Panzer Elite. Airborne now dropping in. What is PEclass doing? Not the best approach again, not the best approach by a long shot. Kampfkraft sent up, good to get veterancy to the Volksgrenadiers. And they actually have to be careful they're not, you know, overrun by any sort of vehicle rush, because they would actually be pretty exposed to that at the moment. Kampfgruppe Kompanie, again, Panzerbrigade would be alright against armor, but against an armored car, again, they would be rather in trouble. And again, why is he moving in that Schwimmwagen right there? What are you doing, PEclass? I usually remember you as being somewhat more competent, but for some reason you seem to be playing rather awfully today. Incendiary trap right there in front of the airborne. Not sure why right there. One in front of the building because they took the door right there. More's going off in fact. And the Schwimmwagen is taking heavy damage from its own fire. Panzerbrigade is there, perhaps sending off a mine. Incendiary trap right there, engineers moving in. A mortar half-track could do the trick. Volkswagen is holding up here behind heavy cover with some medic packs and veterancy 1. Small engagements around here. Machine gun replacement actually up. And I fear something actually died. Again, not really looking good. And Panzerbrigade run off. Satchel charge seems a bit excessive, though the Panzerbrigade are simply cut down, partly due to a veterancy 2 heavy machine gun, which again rather ought to indicate to PEclass that he perhaps has been, you know, not playing too great, when within 10 minutes there is a veterancy 2 heavy machine gun facing off against him. Looks like we've captured. And I would definitely say so far that PEclass looks to be the rather weakling. Again, he's now going for a heavy machine gun. He's not going for something that could actually help dig this out. He's instead going for Panzerbrigade again, which again would be great if the opponent would go for armor, but again if he goes for armor cars, it's going to be a lot less effective. Again, he seems to be rather playing by a playbook rather than reacting to what's going on and taking a proper strategic, you know, movement towards that. Volksgunners with some pioneers are moving in. These troops hit a mine, not looking too good. Another heavy machine gun, but some retreat paths are cut off.
Infantry squad reporting casualties.
And looks like a squad actually went down. Problems from engineers. Let's go look at Vlad, who has gone defensive again. Two defensive sort of doctrines, you know, scorched earth and defensive. Not necessarily the best combination. They need something that can actually help them push, I think. And Blitzkrieg might have done the trick a bit better, I think, for Vlad, or Terror. Rather than moving in, Panzers though, probably more than a match when they're 4 and behind heavy cover. Plus, Volksgunners nearby to provide support. Grenade against the Panzers forces them away. Might have been a bit excessive. You could just have moved them a bit. Now the riflemen are being forced to retreat past the Volksgrenadiers. There we go. Assault on PEclass's base again. The sort of lackluster presence right here has allowed them to move up close. And recall his rifles are basically just blasting away at the flak feeling, knocking out. And satchel charges on another. I mean, PEclass is simply unable to defend himself, although it does do nice damage to the airborne. Charge basically knocks it out. Again, he has no incendiary grenades. He has nothing that can really again help with a dug-in enemy. Again, it seems to be that I have no idea why PEclass is playing like this, and he's sort of trying to rush into the opponent's base, but again, running into machine gun emplacements. I have absolutely no idea why he's playing this, quite frankly, bizarrely. Mines being laid down, mines being swept at the same time, very close. But here's a fun thing actually about pioneers and engineers. They just need someone to actually spot the mines with a minesweeper, and then they can actually sweep them themselves. I mean, as long as the mines are swept, they don't need the minesweeper upgrade to clear them out. Fun little fact there. Machine gun replacement tries to sort of prevent again any counterattacks, airborne snipers. He needs some mortar half-track. He also needs some help from Vlad, and Vlad, you know, isn't currently, you know, being left to hold most of the map. Because, again, PEclass, you know, was rather slow in getting out a proper presence, and again, his unit composition is not the strongest one. And currently, PEclass is actually being besieged. While Vlad is basically pushing on all the way, coming under attack. Rather than taking some losses versus veterans, the 3 Volksgunners, these are going to be some rather tough ones, in fact. Grenades, though, going off. Some Volksgunners getting run off. While the larger efforts are going up on here. Panzerschrecks, Volksgunners, pioneers. I imagine the next response from force from Cindy moves up here, although hitting mines on the way. But there we go, north cleared. Center held. Medic bunker somewhat still there. And there we go. 2 snipers in. Flak feeling firing away at the building. Base getting hammered. Again, not looking good for PEclass. How he somehow managed to end up in this situation is a bit less than encouraging. Volksgunners moving in to try and repel the attack here. Snipers coming under fire here from some Panzers who actually end up retreating. Not sure why. Unit down, in fact, for Vlad. The pioneer squad. And again, the base of PEclass is getting more and more less happy looking. The Panzerbrigade is definitely suffering a bit under some miscommunication between the parts of it. 3 Panzers down to a grenade. That's definitely going to get... No, that didn't actually get some veterans, quite interestingly enough. And there we go. Vlad is actually recruiting the flak filling to use against his opponent. Again, it's in an exposed position. And it's simply getting blasted. Anti-tank guns dropping in even. Satchel charges. And there we go. Vlad's Volksgunners squad was sent to another realm. One less filled with explosions, hopefully. Panzer is getting sniped. I mean, this is absolute carnage. This is an absolute disaster for the Axis forces. Also a bit of action going on here. Not entirely sure why he's focusing on that. Although, again, I suppose when he can't be in his space, he must at least try something else. But, you know, he could also just, you know, try to get his Panzers out here and flank. I mean, there's absolutely no attempt at flanking this position by the Axis players. Particular PEclass ought to be, you know, working towards protecting his own damn base. Instead, he's clearing out 1 machine gun emplacement through the bank. And, of course, now his Panzers are getting forced out. But interesting enough, note the observation post there and a tank there put up for Cindy. So, of course, they are going straight for the tanks. And in that sense, the Panzerschrecks, of course, can help. But the question is, will it be too late? and could have been avoided by a more proper unit composition and force start. Definitely looking a bit grim though. Force moving up here. Volksgrenadiers holding out in the cemetery with some pioneers. Also veteran 22 giving them elite armor, although with only one pioneer actually able to do anything, it's a bit wasted. Grenades getting locked at the Volksgrenadiers. One squad largely buggered, although Vlad is actually training more Volksgrenadiers. Medic bunker certainly also got some work right there. Airborne still holding out supply drops, leaving machine guns and mortars for the Germans if they were able to seize them. Although the airborne, of course, could also grab them, and they do, using, of course, their precision to reinforce on the field. But a proper attack needs to be pushed in, and PEclass needs to help with all of his forces as well. Otherwise, I mean, they're just going to get messed up. And, of course, for the fatherland could help here since he has decided to go defensive, but apparently doesn't use that either. What are you doing, Vlad? Troops getting sniped. He's actually moving in for the sniper, trying to get him. That's a nice move. Although 2 men left. Need to retreat. There we go. Retreat, retreat. Instead, he lost another Volksgrenadier squad. Less than encouraging. Mortar half-track is up, though. Good, good. Which was also largely what most Panzerbrigades had in terms of overall artillery. That was basically a mortar. Panzerbrigades managed to sneak up. That is also good. What we want to see. Going to hammer that machine gun emplacement with Panzerstrecks. If they could actually decide to fire through the window. If they can. There seems to be a slight bug with this house. Apparently they can't fire out there. Oh, that's... PEclass needs to evacuate. Move over to another building. Quickly, quickly. Troops getting sniped. Machine guns, mortars though left behind. Sniper could be going down any second. Mortar blasting away. Mortar equipped. Oh, taken by Vlad. Incendiary rounds. Anti-tank gun in trouble. Again, these Panzerbrigades need to evacuate the premises. They're getting murdered again without really achieving much. They would have imagined those windows, and again, it's something odd with some buildings, just their windows won't work. Panzerbrigade squad down. And aerial flights move in, probably a reconnaissance run. Mortar half-track moving up. Using the buildings for a bit there. Mortar joining in as well. Already 3 kills. Excellent, Vlad. These folks don't need to leave the building. Leave it. Oh dear, Vlad, come on. And instead he loses another Volksgrenadier squad, although a Grenadier squad has appeared from the barracks. Another Volksgrenadier squad trying to flank, although I think a wider flank would help a bit more. Airborne holding out for Yak, although it is a rather expensive infantry force. He is running. Lots of mortars from the Germans. Mortar half-track. American mortar. Sherman, though, has arrived. And that's definitely also a bit of a bad thing for the Germans. In particular, if it hits in the right spot. Veteran 22 heavy machine gun escapes. Another recon run. Sherman rolls in. Tries to spread out. There we go. Attempted strafing run. Doesn't do much, thankfully. Otherwise, that could have been pretty much game over. As he was trying to repair his headquarters. And I think Vlad might have been the better choice to just use some of his pioneers to do the job. You know, they repair faster than Panzerbrigades. I'm not entirely sure he has expert repairs. Mortar needs to get away. And using a... what on earth is going on with Vlad? Using a Volksgrenadier squad fully to recruit. Mortar cleared out. Panzerstrecks, though, could knock out the Sherman. Another strafing or bombing run. 30 caliber recruit. No, it's artillery. So Cindy has gone infantry. Panzer is taking losses. Sherman, though, is out of control. Mortar could be going down. And, in fact, it goes down. Volksgrenadiers managed to actually clear things out. And largely, I mean, the Americans have suffered heavily in their attempt of taking on the base. And thankfully there was enough cooperation between Vlad and PEclass to actually see this off. So that was actually pretty bloody close. They risked it all and they actually lost a lot. Also interesting to note, there's an awful lot of observation posts. I think that's a bit excessive. Of course, that might just be me. Anti-tank, I'm getting hunted down by some of Vlad's Volksgrenadiers. Other Grenadiers moving up.
Ready to pass on orders.
Panzer Grenadiers in dire need reinforcement. In fact, down to 3 Panzer Grenadier squads. Everything else is dead or destroyed, and he's now apparently going to call in Hummels. Oh, he's getting an infantry half-track. That seems a bit late. I think it might have done a bit more earlier in the match. Just to be a bit aggressive. Let's go have a look at Jack again. Down to 3 airborne squads, 1 engineer squad, and a veteran .230 caliber. Grenade goes off, doesn't do much. And again, I mean, he suffered heavily. He's lost 2 snipers, heavy machine guns, placements, everything else in between. So that's definitely something, to be aware of right there. Again, unit composition and such matters. And of course, be careful about charging into your opponent's space. You might actually end up suffering very, very greatly. Now the Wehrmacht though needs to seize back as much territory as possible. Half-track charging in, just going to use it as a Panzerbrigade delivery vehicle. Not entirely sure why he's so keen on himself on charging into enemy bases when he needs to actually be focusing on perhaps, doing some damage to the opponent's infantry more directly. Going in there, doing some damage to the machine gun emplacement. Rifleman galore. Ultimately, doesn't really do a lot there, I think. Grenadiers overwhelmed by airborne, including 1 veteran C2.
Enemy unit.
Nice. And there we go. The infantry half-track was wrecked. What a job there by PEclass. Definitely no class about him, though. Panzerbrigade knocking out the Sherman. And a flak now is up to actually protect against any armoured assaults. Probably also against some airborne incursions. Interesting to note. Veteran .230 caliber up once more in the house close by. Bunker up to protect against infantry assaults. And some Grenadiers are taking heavy losses. And recruiting those heavy machine guns, probably also that mortar again would be a nice move. Another push by Yak. He's quite keen on destroying the German space, instead of just securing the rest of the goddamn map first. And again, I mean, priorities. You should rarely go for the base first, usually last. Instead, they've gone pretty much the opposite. And a Hummel is in fact up. Machine gun bunker up there to protect them, pretty much the western entrance. Mortar could be recruited. Come on. And you'll also pull in that heavy machine gun to support. But again, a mortar right here would in fact do a lot. Could bombard the American positions pretty easily. Force them away even. There we go. Getting the mortar. Vlad preparing as well. Sending in troops. Come on, get that mortar. Nehmen Sie die Granatenwerfer. Werft die an Sie Feind. Something like that. Supply drops going in. Come on, fire the mortar. Damn it. Though he's quite in range right there of the veteran C2 heavy machine gun. Needs to retreat, sadly. Silly game. Well, probably still in a lot of ways, but still some things to learn. And I suppose are somewhat interesting 2 versus 2s like some of the others. But still, I mean, some valuable lessons, again, what to attack unit compositions. Again, be careful about, lots of Schwimmwagens and Panzer Grenadiers, Panzerbrigades early on, and the same, with snipers and machine guns and no infantry. And Cindy certainly suffered a lot. Again, was the one with the most of infantry, now barely has any left, certainly in good condition. Also seems a bit too keen on observation posts. Note, I mean, the observation posts that have been placed on the points, I mean, are largely useless. I mean, 200 manpower on a +5 fuel point is a waste of manpower. I mean, sorry, but there's no way around that one. Definitely also something, to be careful about, consider what you are placing that observation post on. And also how exposed it is. Full Grenadiers are getting absolutely murdered right here by the rifleman. Vlad needs to retreat. German mortar firing away. 2 kills, veteran C3 even, which actually I believe gives it a damage bonus as well. 50% just like a veteran C3 American mortar. But I might be wrong. Though Vlad, of course, could just consider going for a Panzer Command or a Sturm Army and pushing forwards with some armor, which would actually do a lot of damage to the Americans as they clear up. And why on earth is Cindy placing his or hers howitzers right there? A rather peculiar placement. When you can usually just do it from up here. But again, in that sense, it might also be exposed. And well, I suppose it's a sort of expression that they are confident enough in this front. But of course, there's a gap, and Vlad finds it. So nice job right there, Vlad. Always about finding that gap at the enemy's defenses and exploiting it like there's no tomorrow. In this case, the enemy machine guns are quick to react. Oh, the Veteran 2 machine gun went down to the mortar. Airborne charging in, trying to get the Hummels. German mortar fires away. Not quite having a lot of success. Satchel charge on the heavy machine gun. He actually moves too close to it, not losing some men to it. More anti-tank gun down. What shall the response will be to all those airborne? Whoops, press space. My apologies. And that mortar squad is in a bit of trouble. Cleared out. The mortar even wrecked. Grenadiers arriving. Medic bunker definitely paying itself off. And a satchel charge. What an absolute bloody waste.
They're going after one of our munitions.
And what looks like artillery as well. Really keen on knocking out that barracks. And let's go look at Cindy. Airborne being run off.
We're down to 300 points.
Now the push, the howitzers are in fact quite nicely exposed. Firing just wildly at some suspected target. Could be Krauts, get him! Not quite succeeding that. Tank depot's not really seeing much work either. Grenadiers are arriving. Looks like the Americans are moving in to respond, though, to protect their own howitzers. And there we go, howitzer cleared. And he's actually recruiting it, quite interesting enough. Giving it a veterancy free bonus as well, so of course it uses support veterancy. But I'm not entirely sure where it gets its bonuses from. In that sense. Howitzer the fires. At the American base.
Enemy unit.
And calls in a strafing run on the howitzers. That seems a bit excessive. Again, not entirely sure that's good resource control by the Americans. Though, of course, would have been nice if Vlad had been able to hold on to this. That could have absolutely been spelled doom for the Americans. Though, granted, I think doom has already been spelled for them. They're just not clever enough to read the writing. Lots of artillery firing away. Satchel charges. No, grenades, actually. And he's getting his own infantry blown up by the howitzers. Careful, you know. Don't move into your own artillery zones. And he's not doing anything, really, so the Volksgun is holding out in the building. Except, you know, killing two. Others are moving in to flank nicely. Nicely. Flamethrower Pioneers, Veterancy Free, Grenadiers, Veterancy Free. This is definitely going to be a problem for the Americans. Strafing run. Oh, burst one of the Pioneer squads into flames. Grenade goes off, killing more. Volksgun is still holding out in the rickety old building, which is starting to look pretty unsafe, thus prompting the Volksgunners to get the devil out of there. And PEclass Panzerbrigade could use with a bit of moving. We are seeing a Vampire half-track out being used to lay down Goliaths. Fun, fun. Point up here being held by a 30 caliber. Machine gun bunker holding the center. Airborne being run off. And yes, this is probably not the most serious of games. Still, thought it had some interesting bits. And certainly more interesting than some of the 2 vs 2s I've been getting lately. Of course, that doesn't mean you should stop sending them in. Artillery flying in though, and too short. In fact, way too short. Panzerbrigade arriving, ready to try and knock out those houses. Forward barracks up right there. I think again that's a bit of a waste of Cindy. Again, Cindy seems quite wasteful in resources. Way too wasteful, in fact. Not really getting the most out of them, and in fact just, you know, spending resources that could have been used in more combat troops, or say something like tanks. Let's go have a look at Vlad again. Up with the tank depot. 3 grenadiers, 2 Volksgrenadiers, some pioneers and everything else. Rather than moving in there, perhaps they should stick close to the forward barracks so they can actually heal from it. Grenades getting locked, victory point disabled. Grenades getting knocked by the grenadiers. An LMG would have been nice, but it doesn't have the munitions. Small engagement up here, rather than getting caught with a lot of Volksgrenadiers and grenadiers as well. And repairing the point while under fire. Cindy, Cindy, what are you doing? I mean, they've got the aggression bit right, but I mean, in terms of resources, they are doing pretty terribly. And certainly handling them pretty terribly. Grenade right there, of course, clearing out quite a few. And veteran free airborne, that's actually pretty nasty. Certainly something that should be handled with some caution. Small engagement up here, riflemen going to get murdered by some grenadiers. Another rifleman squad moves in, gains veteran 2 immediately, hooray! And now all of those airborne are actually trying to repair that point as quickly as possible. Oh, what you wouldn't do with a bit of artillery right there, or could do.
Our opponent has 200 points.
I mean, again, some artillery right there, and that would pretty much be the end of 3 airborne squads. Pioneers are moving in, though. They're almost done repairing. 2 Hummels up again. More grenadiers reformed. And I suspect we might be seeing the artillery now. Yes, indeed. 1 airborne squad already vanished into thin, bloody mist. Medic station up finally, by the way, for Cindy. Panzerbrigade charging into the base, knocking out a bit of this and that. Yak getting gunned down. And another observation post. My goodness. Veteran 3 airborne running through a hailstorm of bullets. Panzerbrigade need to get out of there. Come on, retreat, retreat. Oh, dear, has lost a squad. And a Panzerschreck trying to knock out that supplier, but not quite succeeding. In fact, being run off. And the rifleman securing a Panzerschreck. But now it looks like he's pretty much just charging into the base of the Americans with Goliaths. And with lots and lots of German infantry. You see him got some Knights Cross now. Looks like a rather bloody win for the Panzerbrigade. Not the most sort of finesse. Grenades going off left and right. And the last desperate attempt by the Americans to sort of stem the flow, but this is clearly not enough. And they are simply getting murdered. Plain and simple murdered. Some artillery getting called in. Goliath trying to hunt down the last remaining Americans. Might blow up the Knight's Cross instead, which would be less than good. Damage engine on the Goliath somehow still working though, somewhat. And there we go, tank depot is down. This is pretty much GG's. Let's just speed this last few minutes up. And there we go, game over. Not the most high profile match, but was a bit unsure, wanted to do a bit of a 2 versus 2, and again this was rather the best I couldn't find in a way which at least didn't get too repetitive. So there you go. I mean, there was still something to learn. We actually saw a Fort Barracks starting with the Wehrmacht, which is actually quite interesting to watch. We saw what happened with improper unit composition, what in the hell happened when you go for free Schwimmmags again, which you have you shouldn't be doing at all. Medic bunker did a nice attempt with the Y, actually probably made it a lot more difficult for the Americans to move about. But I mean, overall, perhaps not the best game of Vlad and PEclass. Definitely would have liked to have seen better, but there you go. And definitely, I mean, with the Americans, the main problem though was Cindy, who was just absolutely terrible, wasting resources left and right on observation posts which were never needed on those points. Probably didn't do much. Lost a lot of units, lost a lot of manpower in silly ways. And not enough armor either again, and the other player, Jakub, was sort of alright, but again, not enough depth, and again that base charge without having secured most of the map was pretty reckless and pretty dim, and probably also resulted in a loss. So there you go. I do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.